Hey there, and good Monday evening to you. It's First Alert meteorologist Isaac Williams with a check of the forecast over the next few hours and next few days. We'll see some more changes. We have another First Alert weather day in store for Tuesday. We had a stormy day today. We had a lot of dangerous heat, but thankfully the storms formed a little faster than we expected, and that prevented Atlanta, at least, from reaching the super dangerous heat levels. The high today was only around 90 degrees, which was still plenty warm, and we did see some spots in central and east Georgia today get the heat index over 105 degrees, and we're going to see that again tomorrow. But for the rest of the night tonight, we're looking at temperature slowly dropping off into the middle and upper 70s. We're pretty much done with the rain and storms this evening. We may see a spotty shower or brief storm, but the action from earlier today is pretty much complete. Lows tonight again in the middle 70s area wide. For tomorrow, another First Alert weather day for more heat and more storms. It's a double whammy, if you will, a feels like temperature of 105 degrees in some spots with some additional storms in the afternoon. The thinking tomorrow is that the storms will be a little bit later in the afternoon and evening compared to what they were today, which means that, again, we may see a little bit more widespread heat issue before we see those scattered storms develop. Again, an average high between probably 92 and 97 across north and central Georgia, and again, which will create those heat index numbers upwards of 105. Here's a look at the heat advisory for tomorrow, and again, it's pretty much for the same spots. We have Pike, Upson, and Lamar counties eastward into the Athens and Eatonton area. We could see this expanded. It's really kind of dependent on exactly how fast the storms form tomorrow, but if they form later in the day, we could see this expanded just a little bit, but this is where it's most likely to see the temperature feels like of 105 plus, but very well could happen in the metro, and we'll see if that heat advisory is expanded any. Otherwise, actual air temperatures tomorrow, 85 in Helen, so not too bad there, 86 in LJ, but 95 in Atlanta, 95 in Covington, and 95 in Eatonton. So it is going to be yet another hot day tomorrow, but the good news is that after tomorrow, you'll see in the 7-day forecast, we're going to see some improvement with the heat levels just a bit. For the 3 o'clock heat index tomorrow, assuming there's not too many showers and storms on radar, we'll be feeling like the 90s and 100s. Notice that Eatonton heat index 105, Covington 102, 100 in Athens, and 98 degrees up in Atlanta. So overnight will be generally dry. I can't rule out the chance at a stray shower, maybe up in the mountains, but generally speaking, we should be dry for the rest of the night. For Tuesday, again, another First Alert weather day. Here's a look at noon. Generally dry. We had plenty of storms already in progress today at noon. That should not be the case tomorrow, but we'll start to see a few more form between noon and 3 o'clock, and then certainly between 3 and 6, and even into the evening hours, those storm chances will be increasing, and this particular model suggests it may be 6, 7, or 8 p.m. before some of the storms may impact the metro. Just keep in mind, this is one forecast model. It's not going to be exact, of course. It's just a more educated guess in the models and in the storm chances for tomorrow. But we have a backdoor cold front coming in from South Carolina that's sort of pushing this from right to left on your screen, or from north to south, east to west, kind of a backwards movement of storms tomorrow. But even as late as 11 p.m. tomorrow, we could be still seeing some storms maybe west of the metro as they continue moving towards the Alabama state line. And then after Tuesday, we're going to start to see a slight improvement with the storm chances and the heat and humidity. For tomorrow, like we saw today, there are a few spots where we could see a few stronger storms. Mainly right now, this is from about Atlanta to Athens southward, so roughly I-85 southward into central and even South Georgia. We're going to see storms kind of migrate in from South Carolina, moving from the east, moving toward the west. And like we saw today, we did see a couple of special weather statements for 40 to 50 mile per hour gusts, and one severe thunderstorm warning that was issued earlier today for portions of Cherokee County with the storm southeast of Rome. Thankfully, no major issues, but one storm, could get strong enough tomorrow to produce some gusty wind over 40 miles per hour. So that's something we'll be watching. It's just a level 1 out of 5 risk for tomorrow. And also, like today, we have basically this entire state to be in a level 1 risk of flash flooding. So storm movement tomorrow will probably be 20 miles per hour or less. So with that in mind, we could have some flooding pop up in some of the harder hit areas and some of the heavier rain rates. And you can see the highest threat for flooding tomorrow looks to be from the Midlands toward the South Carolina coastline, clipping far east Georgia. But right now we are going to be looking at that level 1 risk of flooding. Over to the tropics, we have just a 10% chance of development. This is a very, very disorganized area of low pressure. And even the thunderstorms in the tropics are not super concentrated or widespread, so this will probably not survive going forward just because of the fact that we have just a very hostile environment that is in place across portions of the southern Atlantic. This is still hundreds of miles east of the eastern Caribbean, and again, there are no signs that this is going to develop into anything super crazy. So that's some good news. Rainfall amounts today were very heavy in spots, and others barely saw anything. But the coverage overall today was fairly widespread. And of course, we had some storms move right through metro Atlanta in the afternoon. Thankfully, they avoided the core of the rush hour earlier today, but we did see some heavy rain and storms come in. We had some heavy storms over Rome, Georgia, and then out to the south side of Athens, we had some heavy rain and storms there. But overall here, no major problems from the storms today, but they definitely were impactful, and we could see another round of those tomorrow afternoon, very similar to what we saw earlier today. Here's a look at radar this evening. Again, as I mentioned, we're pretty much done with the storms. We have a couple left over, but in large part the coverage from earlier today is not nearly as impressive. We have a storm here just to the west of Rome in Floyd County, and then a few other storms up toward Chattanooga in portions of Tennessee, but these will probably weaken before they reach north or central Georgia. And then we have, looks like one lone storm between Noonan and LaGrange. That's also moving southward into middle Georgia. Most of it's starting to dry out. We see a few storms up there in portions of South Carolina as well, but we have kind of a void across the metro and most of North Georgia for storms as we speak here. So that's some good news. We don't really expect a whole lot more, again, for the rest of the evening. Here's a look at the 7-day forecast. So again, a first alert weather day again tomorrow for heat and for storms. And then notice the temperatures come down 5+ degrees on Wednesday and Thursday. We're going down to 90 and even 89, so not so bad with lower rain chances. We have just a slight pocket of some drier air coming in that may at least affect the mountains, maybe as far south as the metro. We'll wait and see, but not a fully dry forecast coming up. But after tomorrow, we are looking at some less active weather days Wednesday and Thursday. And then for Friday and Saturday, we're going to ramp up the rain chance at least a little bit, back to 40%, with highs, again, hovering around 90 degrees. And then next week, we're jumping up to the mid-90s, between maybe 94, 97. We're going to have a hot start next week, it looks like. Even though it's day 7, signs are pointing towards some heat building there. And again, the feels like temperature may become an issue again by early next week. But after tomorrow, we are not going to see 105-degree heat index numbers for the rest of the week after Tuesday. So that's one improvement, but we will have some storms coming back at times for the rest of the week as well. But tomorrow is probably the busiest weather day with storms. Fewer storms Wednesday and Thursday, and then we're up to that 40% chance of showers and thunderstorms Friday and Saturday, and then once again lower coverage into Sunday and next Monday. Again, I'll leave you here with first alert radar. Again, we still have a few storms west of Rome and up into Tennessee, and then that one storm between LaGrange and Noonan, but overall the metro is dry. I don't expect any other rain tonight in the metro or most of North Georgia for that matter, seeming to be shaping up for a fairly decent evening. Obviously, it's going to be very warm and muggy, but we will see very limited rain overnight with that 50-50 shot at storms tomorrow. Dangerous heat for some, with the heat backing off Wednesday, Thursday, and on Friday. That'll do it here for this forecast update here on Atlanta News First Plus. Don't forget you can always get the very latest inside the Atlanta News First Alert weather app. We're constantly updating the forecast there as well as on air. Patrick and Jen will be in this evening at 10 and 11 with the latest forecast on television.
30 a.m. on ANF Plus. You can also text weather to the number on your screen, and we'll send a link directly to your cell phone.